Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of my Out of the Park Baseball 22 series with the Pirates. And of course, last episode we finished the 2023 season. I went over kind of the team performances, and now we are heading into the offseason. But quick before that, just want to quick go around the league where the Tigers defeated the Cardinals 4-1 in the World Series. The Tigers, of course, aren't a very good team in real life, but the future came pretty quick in this series, at least for the Tigers. I mean, you can see a lot of the guys even here. Brendan Marsh is an Angels prospect in real life. Looks like he found his way to the Tigers here. But Willie Castro, Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson, those guys, are main prospects for them. And then they have Marcus Semien here, and then a few other veteran guys sprinkled in. Travis d'Arnaud, Renato Nunez, Candelario, who's on the Tigers right now in real life. And then, of course, their pitching prospects, Matt Manning, Joey Wentz, Casey Mize, Tariq Skubal here in the bullpen. They have Alex Lang here. And then they also have a veteran, Carlos Carrasco, and a few veteran bullpen guys in there. It looks like they're pretty much carried by their pitching and what was a good enough offense, as well as the best defense in the league, which is no easy task in Detroit because, of course, they have one of the bigger ballparks in the league. So a quick turnaround for the Tigers. They're going to head and wheel around to league stats and kind of look at where everyone is in that department. Not too much here that I see is too different. Andrelton Simmons here, actually. Wow. Just kind of want to spotlight him for a second here. It looks like he's offensively, he has quite turned around his career here. Of course, in real life, he was pretty serviceable offensively, at least for how good his defense has been in the past few years. Recently, that offense has declined, and he's been kind of what he was at the beginning of his career, not nearly as good in offense. But in this, he was even above league average this year, according to OPS Plus. That puts him on a little bit of interesting trajectory here. He has been very good here offensively, which is very interesting to see. Very valuable player. At this point, Mad Rosario seems like he's just a pretty good contact hitter right now in this league. Miguel Sano is one of the best power hitters, it would seem here. Still can't really hit for average at all. Same thing with Joey Gallo. Alec Bohm for the Phillies leads the league in homers this year, and a couple guys over 40. Alec Bohm also led in RBI. Teammate Bryce Harper is with him. Not too much. You have some newer guys on base. Pavin Smith, however you say it. Kavan Vigio, Andrew Vaughn, who is pretty much making his rookie debut this year, and kind of just going around. Ko actually was fifth in OPS, so that's kind of cool to see. I don't think we'd have anyone else. I'm going to name these leaders just quick scrolling through. A lot of other stats that are also here. Ko was also sixth in the league in WOBA, so that is actually pretty cool. Of course, if you don't know, one of the better metrics to look at power and offensive impact through, because it weights each type of hit differently according to if like a single, double, what kind of extra base hit it is, weights hits like that. And then we have the pitching leaders here, which I doubt we're going to have anyone. Just kind of looking through here, Julio Yurios has turned into quite the stud in this world, it looks like. Dodgers continue to be pretty dominant with their pitching. Look through there. DeGrom is actually on the Angels now, so the Angels looks like actually invested in some pitching here. And other than that, Nick Nelson is here with he did have a sky-high walk rate, and it shows right there. So there you go, pitching leader from the Pirates, although not necessarily the good kind. Urias leading in fifth. You got Ohtani up here, Gallen, DeGrom. Pearson's up here. Looks like he had a breakout season for them. And Urias had was the leader in WHIP under one, and Matt Manning. A few Angels here. Looks like the Angels have quite the rotation. I believe they won the first World Series, or they've been a consistently good team. I think they won the first World Series of this since we started this save, though. And that's enough of that. So we're going to go ahead and look at the salary arbitration. And what we're going to do, pretty much everyone here I'm very interested in bringing back. Brubaker at $950K is a steal at this point in his career. Just kind of looking through more. Estrada, I really don't want to bring him back. He's out of options, so if we wanted to send him down, which I'm sure what would happen, basically we would only bring Estrada back. We really couldn't literally find anyone else. But hopefully we will. Everyone else, I'm fine with re-upping with. Andrew McCutcheon, he was not even interested in coming back, which I think I mentioned earlier. So he will not be coming back. I have a few minor league free agents. I'll let the computer handle that. So pretty much bring everyone back here that's ARB eligible. Not really any reason not to really. And they're going to go ahead and look at personnel. I don't think we have any major league staff. Wow, actually I was very wrong. We have actually a good amount of major league staff, and our manager actually has only a 1 year left, and it might be time soon to go ahead and get a new manager, honestly, because he is very poor. His ratings aren't very good either, so it honestly could be time for that. So here we're looking for a new first base coach. Really, I just kind of want a guy who can teach the infielders a little bit. I believe Tariq Brock was our previous guy there. Joey Cora, who is good at teaching pretty much all of those and running, and he is our third base coach. So pretty much we can get anyone. Probably a guy who can teach catching, preferably. So we'll go ahead and kind of look at that. Let's see, anyone here development-wise. Looks like there are a few guys here. David Popkins, we'll go ahead and offer him up to be our first base coach. And then we're also needing a hitting coach, not hitter coach. Weird. We need a hitting coach for our major league roster here, and not too fantastic options here. I definitely want a guy who is pretty good at helping develop some guys, but to be honest, he just might be the best bet here. Miguel Santana, is he interested? Looks like he is, so we'll go ahead and offer him. And then look, we also need a bench coach, so we'll go ahead and for a guy who's interested in being a bench coach. And I'm probably, this is the thing with the bench coach, you really don't it's hard to define roles for all these people, because you have all of these new ratings to look at when you're deciding on what coaches to hire, things like that. So I would like guys who ideally could help foster the development of a lot of our young guys. And this Tony Clark guy seems good enough. He can teach all the positional spots well enough. He is pretty good at fostering development. Not fantastic aging wise, helping players, I guess, not regress as hard while they age. And then I also want to go ahead and take a look at managers too, just to see kind of what's out here. It does really look like there are a few guys here who could help us, and Santana is again here. I want to kind of see management styles, because I definitely would prefer to bring in a guy who is more of a sabermetric mindset. So just because it makes managing easier, because I don't have to try to micromanage everything to fit like exactly how I would want it to be. So that's where it just kind of makes much more sense to bring in a guy like that. And could I find one with good relationships, or is everyone just poor here? Looks like everyone is poor, so I kind of wasted my time there. I saw Kevin Bowles, which is a manager that I pretty frequently go to, because I usually like his ratings in game. He isn't very good at that, though. I guess maybe I could sort by value ratings here. And yeah, it does look like we can see that. This Jose Naives guy looks pretty decent, although his handling development, I guess it was coach ratings here that we saw. Yeah, I mean, none of these guys are particularly excellent at any of these things. I definitely want, again, guys who help develop players. It's also conventional, so I guess this doesn't sort it like that, which is pretty annoying, to be honest. Because, I want a guy who, has a manager style that I agree with. And it definitely could make it take quite a while if you have to literally sort through pretty much everyone in here. I know Mike Matheny would be listed as sabermetric, even though his style really isn't that, especially in real life. So I think actually Kevin Cash is here, and he is there's conventional. Alex Cora. He would be someone that I could possibly be interested. I'll definitely keep him in mind. To be honest, I think I might just go ahead and try and do it off screen, just because this could take way too long. So that's what I think I'm gonna do. Actually, I'm gonna check back in when I find like a candidate or two candidates that I'm comfortable going with. So I'll go ahead and do that. So regarding the whole manager situation, I actually decided that it probably wasn't worth it to bring another guy. I just couldn't find anyone that I really liked their ratings, and anyone who I even sort of did. They were either just not interested or were just looking for more than I thought they were worth based on like their reputation ratings were. And I thought Shelton's under contract through the next year. And his ratings really aren't terrible. He's not going to hurt the development of any of our guys. He maybe just won't foster it. And pretty much everyone we have at the major league level, is pretty far developed already. So I didn't think it would, be too bad to, just really to hang on to him for another year and, just wait until next year and see if anyone else is here. One thing that I do want to go over very quickly, kind of the last thing I had for this area of the offseason, is that Ke'Bryan Hayes signed his extension. If you don't remember, he was interested in extending last year. Not even last year. In the last video, I meant to say. I guess post the end of last season, at the conclusion of the season, he was interested in extending. He's heading into his ARB years here, and we got him on a pretty good extension. If you didn't see in that video, or you just maybe missed that part of the video, we got him pretty cheap. $10 million next year, and then about $15 for each of the years after that. Pretty fantastic value, if you ask me, for a guy of his caliber. Of course, a great defender, a pretty good bat as well. Definitely an above league average bat, and we're able to get him at what probably is above his value, or is most likely above his value for the next few seasons here, making 10 and then 15 in both of the next of his arbitration years. Then after that, we get him for 15 and 17, and also team option for 18, which I certainly am interested in picking up. So that's quite the discount. He'd probably be worth around double that in the open market at least. So that is definitely a very good get for the Pirates for the future. And he also is very loyal, so I wasn't very surprised that he was interested in extending with the team. So now it's time to move on, and we'll go through the awards and other things, and then we'll probably finish up this portion of the off-season video. Now we have reached the awards portion of the offseason, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at all of the awards handed out around the league. First, here's a quick look at all of the AL Gold Gloves. Of course, nothing too surprising. Of course, we're not really involved here in the American League, so just skip right past that after a quick view. For the NL, we actually do have one player. We have Brian Reynolds here taking home a Gold Glove in left field. This is his second in a row. He didn't play as much left field in this season as the last, as he played a good chunk of his games in right and center. Not starting a lot of games in center, but appearing a lot of games in center. So he had another great year. He's, again, a plus defender in left, although you can't really play him much else. He's a fringe center fielder. He doesn't have nearly a good enough arm to play right, but he does play a good left field. Others around the league, Brian Hayes does not win Gold Glove for third base. That belongs to Arenado. That's some tough competition for him. And then otherwise, a couple other guys who will be here. La Mercutio here is a fantastic defensive second baseman. He'll be here for a while. Acuna Jr., Pache. These guys will all be here for a while, I would assume. AL reliever goes to Aroldis Chapman. No surprise there. Now an Angel. He has been fantastic in this game. Genesis Cabrera and Andres Munoz finishes third. We have Austin Adams here, who wins it for the National League. Will Vest and Sam Delaplane for the Mets finish second and third. No Pirates got votes here, although McKenzie probably wasn't far off, and he probably would have actually received recognition if he did not spend a lot of his time, or about half of his time, as a starter. Looking here at the AL Silver Sluggers, Mike Trout a little bit down here, down 2022, but right back up in 2023. Still being a very, very productive player. And then all these guys here, Ahmed Rosario, as I mentioned earlier, he's a pretty good offensive player now in the American League over there in Cleveland. And then here we have the NL Silver Sluggers. No Pirates here, which is pretty expected. Jeff McNeil wins it in left field. And pretty much everyone else is guys who are repeating winners in the Silver Slugger. AL Rookie of the Year goes to Lewin Diaz, who is 27-year-old rookie. Lamont Soto wins. Doesn't win. He finishes second. And then Bernardo Flores Jr. finishes third. 29 votes for Diaz in first place, so only one vote not going to him. And then in the National League, Mel Rojas Jr. wins it. He was a posted player. I think he was playing in the Nippon Baseball League over in Japan, and he's a 33-year-old rookie who ended up taking home the award. And then Drew Mendoza, Stuart Fairchild, Jonah Bride, not many rookies in the National League, so not much consideration there. Hinch wins it. AL Manager of the Year, of course, he turned around Detroit, and then Mike Schilt was the manager of the Cardinals, who lost in the World Series to the Tigers. That is not an award. The AL Cy Young goes to Ohtani. That is his first Cy Young. Oops, and I guess I just spoiled the MVP because it looks like he also takes home the MVP. But we can go ahead and look at his hitting stats. He was pretty ridiculous hitting. Pretty up and down. Bad year in 2020, bad year 2021 at the plate, but fantastic other than that. Crazy year for him. He gets the AL Cy Young, as I mentioned. It was actually a very close race. Joey Wentz looked like, he only got 13 first place votes of the possible 30. So, very pretty close race there for American League Cy Young. For the National League Cy Young, Julio Yurios ran away with it. Still only 27. Of course, he's been in the majors what seems like forever. He debuted at 19, I do believe. And then National League MVP is Acuna Jr. playing in right field for them. He was a unanimous winner. Harper and Betts finished second and third, so not very out of the ordinary things there. And again, Ohtani, he was first place. Vladdy second. And Ahmed Rosario, looked at him finishing third. So that is it for the awards. And then the very next thing we have to get into is free agency filing. So we'll go ahead and kind of preview some of the guys that are available and kind of look at what we're really going to be trying to do in this offseason. Now, at the beginning of free agency, of course, they always post the international guys. We, of course, got Coe in the first season, and hopefully they have someone for us here who is a pretty good player, because you can get these international guys usually pretty cheap. Looks like this guy is available, but he is also in the Mets organization. I kind of haven't really understood how these guys are able to sneak in here. It seems more frequently every year that guys will already be in organizations that are listed here. I guess maybe that it's that they're an international amateur free agent, possibly. But I mean, this guy's 24, so I don't think he could have been, because in the old OOTPs, I don't believe that this really ever happened. But now a lot of these guys end up being, some of these guys are already in professional organizations, but only one this year, and he wasn't very good. And really there weren't really many good players anyway, so not anything to look into there. But here are the free agents that are available. A lot of pitching, a lot of relievers at the top, a lot of people that are definitely out of our price range here. Rafael Devers is available here. He's definitely the best hitter available, and then a lot of other kind of miscellaneous guys who maybe aren't as good. Carlos Carrasco is available here for $3 million. I do see that, and that is definitely intriguing. But we probably don't need any pitching. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and look at what we do need. So these are the 5 guys we have. McKenzie I definitely do not want in the rotation. So we could use to get another starter, because I just don't want McKenzie really to ever have to make a start here. Jared Jones could possibly be in the major leagues this year, although he is coming back from a UCL injury. So that is a pretty major injury, of course. So we may want to baby him a bit with his innings this year. Hopefully he doesn't develop like a fragile injury tendency. So we could use a starting pitcher, and Carrasco might be the best value that we could get, absolutely. And, of course, offensive-wise, we need people up the middle. I forgot to not re-up with Adamant, so he just is back. I actually can't believe I forgot to do that. That is a bit annoying. So he's going to be back. Might see if I can trade him right before the season. I guess he's fine. I mean, I do think his offensive ratings are pretty decent. As a second baseman, he's really not that much. I mean, he's a poor defensive second baseman. And he can't really. I mean, he would most likely be fine at third base, but second base not so much with that low rating. So I think what we're gonna do is, again, try to find cheap people up the middle, possibly a center fielder, definitely someone at shortstop, and a guy who we can get to be a starting pitcher. Let's just go right away and try to bring in Yu Darvish is also available, also coming off an injury. Although Carrasco is definitely more on our price range. Darvish, he'd be cutting it close. Machado opted out of his deal, which is interesting there. But see, Zach Eflin wants $16 million. We definitely capitalized on him at the right time, that is for sure. I'm not sure quite why I can't find Carrasco here. He must have been bumped down, because there are a bit of good players here, or 55 rated players, so I can't see him. Oh, there he is. So he wants about $3 million, and I'd be more than happy to give him $3 million, so we can go ahead and give him a 1 year, $3 million deal. Hopefully that works out well for us. I did see a guy here who looks very interesting. This guy looks like he is a stud reliever. He's not interested in playing for our manager, so I suppose that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and look at shortstops here, just to see, who's available here. Did not mean to click on Ahmed. He's definitely way out of our price range. Machado is also here, because he does have the experience at the position of shortstop. Marte, I mean, he's just not a shortstop. I knew that, but I just wanted to see what his rating was. So basically, we're pretty much locked into where I thought we would be. Pretty much guys in Estrada's price range. Kind of Falefa could be interesting. He is a decent shortstop. He also can catch, although you don't really want him to catch. In real life, he has turned into an amazing defender. He's been playing shortstop for the Rangers recently. He's been pretty good. He doesn't really look too great offensively. Marwin Gonzalez is not someone who we want to be playing shortstop for us every day. I really don't want to bring Estrada back. Dansby Swanson is here. He's not really an ideal shortstop candidate. We do have Almeus in the system. Joey Wendell's here, but he's, again, a guy who you don't want playing shortstop. Galvis, I mean, he really can't hit, and his defensive rating's only getting worse. Again, Estrada's a guy who we really don't want. This is definitely tough. Valleca, he really can't play shortstop either. Much better suited there. Estrada, I mean, he's a guy who you definitely don't want playing shortstop at this point. Almeus may just be our best option, and it may be the wisest thing to kind of roll it out with him. Chad Pinder, yeah, I mean, also a guy who you don't want playing shortstop. Just real quick checking Birdie here, knowing him, and then also most likely knowing Christian Colon. Yeah, not a bad offensive player there, but a guy who you don't want playing shortstop. So we'll go ahead and look in our minor league system. We do have Ji-Hwan Bae, who you definitely do not want to play shortstop. Could possibly play second base. That seems to be a problem right now in our organization. We have a lot of guys who I would play at shortstop. Piguero, he definitely is someone who I do not want to play at shortstop. Yeah, a lot of guys who are physically able to stand at shortstop, but not a lot of guys who I actually want to play shortstop. To be honest, Almeida just might be who we start the season out in the Major League roster at shortstop. He is fantastic at defense. He has excellent range. He always plays a great shortstop. And it just honestly might have to be the move despite his bat. I mean, we know he's not going to hit, but the question is, can we find anyone who can hit that much better than him? And I think the question is, the answer to that question is definitely not. So I don't even know if it's really worth kind of fishing for any of those guys. But we do have Bae, we do have Nick Gonzalez, who can also come up. I mean, none of these guys are shortstops, but it may just be best to wait for another similarly rated player at about a 45 overall that we are able to pick off waivers for maybe a cheaper price than we could get all those guys for. And I was also kind of thinking here, maybe we could flip O'Neal Cruz to a team and get a shortstop in return for them. That would probably be an ideal return. But other than that, there's literally nothing else here that's available. Just for maybe humor's sake, we'll take a look at center fielders, even though I'm kind of comfortable with the center fielders. Whit Merrifield's here. He's not really on those are his infield ratings. Yeah, I mean, he's not really a guy who I would particularly like to play at that kind of position. He's 34. Yeah, I mean, really, I only want to play him at second base, and he'd be a poor defensive second baseman. He's a better outfielder to have. Maybe if Cole Tucker actually hits this year, we could play him at a shortstop. Maybe play Merrifield somewhere. I mean, he cuts our budget very, very close. We're already pretty tight on money here. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know if we have the room. If we ended up moving Brian Reynolds, we might have room. But it honestly could. We would have to free up some money here, and maybe I could move Adam in and free up some money. Does he want an extension yet? He'd want a 1-year extension, but even right now we wouldn't be able to afford that. We are extremely tight on money. This is where it becomes very tough because we, as the Pirates, we just don't have much money to play with, and we might have to sell a lot of these pieces. It's gonna be very tough to have a lot of pieces combining at the same time, and having enough money available to actually field that winning team. So I think that's gonna actually go ahead and do it for the episode, because we want to definitely save the rest of the offseason, such as the Rule 5 draft, actually seeing if Carrasco signs, because that just might be the only signing we make this offseason. And also, we could make some trades, hopefully for Cruz, try to figure out kind of what we're going to do with the shortstop position. But it's looking like it's going to be a mess for the upcoming year. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe, like, let me know how you feel about it, and I'll see you guys next episode.